French Shalom and greetings to you all. Now, congratulations for those of you who've persevered and endured the better part of another year of Torah exploration and commentaries. There's 53 weekly portions that we go through every year. We're at number 45. Just a handful more to go. Now, there's certain truths in life, and many of them come from our belief systems, which actually change over time. Now, those truths of ours aren't necessarily absolute truths, the truths we seek, which govern the universe. Now, in order to find higher truths, we need to be grateful. Look at all the things others have to teach you. Your interactions with everyone help you grow and develop. There is an authority greater than you. And if you believe it is nothing more than the collective consciousness of man, because you don't believe in God, that's okay. It's that collective consciousness of a family, a tribe, a city, a country, a planet that reminds you that we're all interconnected. We receive and give energy to each other. We feel each other's joy. We feel each other's pain. We relish each other's good fortune. We mourn each other's loss. Now, did you light a candle for the losses and sadness of Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av, the dark day of sadness, of hate, of destruction? It's never too late to shine more light on the world. And now coming up is the happiest day. Within a week you go from the saddest day to the happiest day. Are you ready for the joy and wonder of Tu B'Av, the 15th of Av? Now that happens to be on the 19th this year, and it is the day of love. Well, I'm in the mood for love. Simply because you're near me. Funny, but when you're near me, I'm in the mood for love. Heaven is in your eyes, bright as the stars that we're under. Oh, is there any wonder? I'm in the mood for love. Now, who's not in the mood for love? Everybody's in the mood for love. Find love. Enjoy love. Now, in the midst of the love fest that's going on during this holiday, I don't know about you, but I've certainly noticed we're coming into election season. You can tell by the ads on TV, and I'm stupefied by the wasted money spent on advertising. Almost all of it's negative. There should be no negative advertising allowed. I don't know why it is. Election allowable advertising should only be what you plan on doing and how you will accomplish it. Because without the how, there's nothing but platitudes and pandering. Can you imagine the good that could be done with the billions and billions of dollars spent on garbage, hate, fear? There's so much simple common sense things that could be done, but the belief in the stupidity and gullibility of the masses is obviously just way too deep. Do not prove them right. If just a small percentage of the wasted amounts spent on hate could be used to promote freedom for the hostages, the truth about the Iranians and their tools, Hezbollah's and Hamas's goal for simply the elimination of Israel and death of all Jews, maybe people would realize you actually hear nothing from the Palestinians. They're a different group. But they've been pushed to the side by the warmongers and haters in charge who've associated with them. I fear for a world where there is a major nation about to hold an election of unelectables with no rules in place on who are out to vote, and it seems unelectables are being elected everywhere. I recently voted in a by-election, and I wasn't on the latest approved voters list, and I had to get registered or lose my right to vote. But I didn't have the sufficient ID with me to show them. I could have chosen not to bother. But that becomes a wasted opportunity. So I went back home, I got the proper ID, I went back, got registered, and exercised my right to have a say. Now, there were 30 candidates running, most of which were from parties I'd never even heard of. But everybody had the right to exercise a vote. I thought we were smarter, but instead we go backwards. Hatred is everywhere. In fact, just the other day, I saw that Belgium banned the Jews from sporting events, just like it was World War II. I still wait for the world to condemn public hatred, and the world isn't condemning it. I also saw that finally the resignation of the chief of the Canadian Human Rights Commission over his anti-Israel activities took place. A blatant anti-Semite whose announcement to the job was shocking enough was allowed to resign instead of being fired. Being fired would have been a statement. The resignation, you know what, friends? That just becomes a mere footnote. And most people don't bother reading the footnotes. We have to get past hate. We have to move towards love. And that's what this holiday was all about. It's about moving towards love. We need not just to take a day a year to celebrate love and sharing and caring. We need to send out love all year. Because love is all there is. It makes the world go round. Love ain't only love. Can't be denied. No matter what you think about it, you just won't be able to do without it. Take a tip from one who's tried. Do not give up on love, my friends. So what is this holiday of love that makes the happiest day of the year? For centuries, this has been a holiday hardly noticed. And it is really only since the modern state of Israel came into being that it has been celebrated again after centuries of not being celebrated. But the Talmud, which was written an awfully long time ago, tells us much about how it was perceived in ancient times. Now, we're told in the Talmud many years ago. So if the Talmud is talking about many years ago, you know it's old. Anyhow, many years ago, the Talmud explains that the daughters of Jerusalem would go dance in the vineyards on the 15th of Av, and whoever did not have a wife would go there to find a bride. The Talmud considered this to be the greatest festival of the year, with Yom Kippur coming in second place. Well then, what's to be the reason for becoming man and wife? Is it love that brings you here, or love that gives you life? For if loving is the answer, who's the giving for? Do you believe in something that you've never seen before? Oh, there's love. There is love. You know, if nothing else, there's always love. And for all the couples I have and will marry, there is love. Now, that was the wedding song by the great Paul Stuckey from Peter, Paul, and Mary, a group very few people even remember. Now, it is love that brings us together. And although we're all different, there's still the one thing that makes us all the same, and that's our need and desire to come together and to celebrate with each other. It gives us that sense of camaraderie, that collective consciousness of being with a group, like us as seekers showing faith, as we respect any and all faith. Love, because we respect any and all love. Because we are a fellowship, a true chavura, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach, sharing and bringing light, keeping fear at bay. And even though together we're all individual in our approach, each connects in his or her or their own way. So once again, please do go ahead and invite everybody you know, physically, digitally, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, any way at all to gather and share. From Psalm 133, the Hine Matov, come together. Hine Matov. How good and pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. We support each other in this community. Let us all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world. Remember, friends, this is you setting aside just a little bit of sacred time in your own sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in, because we all believe in something. It's a part of your kavanah, your intention that you put out to the universe. It's your goodwill, and goodwill and intention are the roots of what you can control and of what you can correct. If you found your intention was wrong, you could fix it. It's your intention that sets in motion everything that occurs in your life. So let's take some time now. Let's use our intention. Let's send some of the goodwill, some light, some healing out to whoever that needs it. Healing and renewal is for everyone. It just floats through space, finding those in need, so send it out. For those you know, for the souls and spirits of everybody you love. So think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love, or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people. It's for our pets. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the world. It is the tikkun olam that is part of our spiritual genetic makeup. And a part of the healing of the world is when we send thoughts and energy for health and renewal and goodwill for everybody. They don't have to be sick. It's for all of those in our hearts and our minds. Let's all send energy out for the people in need everywhere. Special thoughts and prayers for those in need of assistance, especially those poor hostages who've been prisoners in the pit for almost a year now. We pray for those who need prayer, because we don't have to know them. We want health, recovery, good life for everybody around us. It's who we are. It's for Amin. It's for AJ, for Snoopy, who I saw, who hosted a fantastic event. For Lee and John. For Psychic K and Agent K. For the Builder, Gary. For Paul, Maria. For Dear Ban, Drew and Roger. For Lucy, Winston, Gloria, and Ainura. For Fern and Johnny, who I saw. For Ken and Kathy. For Carla, Jessica and Mita. For Gabby. For Charles, John, and Maria. For Doria. For Connie, Ronnie. For Tally, Maya. For Luke, Barry, Nina, and Danny. All those suffering and in need. Let's not forget to include all the familiars of our lives. All of our sacred animal friends. Everywhere. For everyone you know who's in need. For the whole world. For Devora. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes, the goodwill and love we all send out. It just circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit, and spirit, my friends, never dies. Avotenu Makor for us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Misha Baruch, let us all have our spirits renewed. This is the great prayer for healing. If we call upon God to heal as is healed before, Misha Baruch, may he who blessed, because all healing is a blessing. Let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. We're in the second reading of the Book of Words, the one that went missing for several hundred years, and this week begins with a request. Va'et Hanan, and I pleaded. Moses pleads. The last time this particular term was used was when we found out Joseph pleaded with his brothers when thrown in the pit to die. Make no mistake, he would have died in that pit And that tells you the brother's intention. Well, Moses pleads with God to be allowed into the promised land, but he's told no. The most powerful two-letter word in any language. It can stop you in your tracks. It can devastate you for life. How do you feel when you ask for something and are simply told no? Sometimes you understand, or you guess. Sometimes you resolve not to ask because you anticipate the answer will always be no. And sometimes you wonder why and are never told why. You should always be told. And when you have to say no, you should always say why the answer is no. Now, God tells Moses why the answer is no. Do you tell why when your answer is no? It's so important. And because I said so is not an answer, when you explain, you teach. You know, it'd be interesting to know how social media would have reacted to that request today. There would probably be a poll immediately, and I bet the people would side with Moses. After all, we're taught, forgive, be kind, help others. If we're to treat the world in that way, wouldn't we expect God to do the same? Friends, Moses' life ends as it began, at a river. Water is the great metaphor for Moses. His beginning, found at a river, and his death, here at the Jordan. And rivers have been a theme since the beginning, since Eden, as a symbol of great civilizations, of the Nile, the Jordan, the Tigris, the Euphrates. Wider than a mile, crossing you in style someday. Dream maker, you heartbreaker. Wherever you're going, I'm going your way. Two drifters off to see the world. There's such a lot of world to see. And that's how we used to see the world, by water. And like a river that ebbs and flows, I want you to notice words and themes wind from Genesis through Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, into Deuteronomy, like threads through fabric. There's another theme that we'll develop in this book. It is a theme of choice and a theme of opposites. Now, since we know this is the book of retelling, we have retelling here and we have some new things, and that's throughout the entire book of Deuteronomy, because it is the book of retelling. So always expect to see something you saw before. We hear again about the cities of refuge. We have a retelling of the 10 commandments, but notice that they are slightly different. We also get what is referred to as the Great Commandment, which has become the most important prayer in the religion. But we have reached what is the beginning of what became known as the Grand Sermon. It starts at Deuteronomy 4:1. And now, Israel, hear the statutes and the laws that I'm about to teach you to do, so you may live, and you shall come and take hold of the land that the Lord God of your fathers is about to give to you. You shall not add to the word that I charge you, and you shall not subtract from it. Now, that little throwaway line at the end is really important and is going to be repeated several times. Do not add, do not subtract. It's great in theory. But in fact, we have added much via interpretation and in the belief that more is better. And that's still being debated. Adding to a command is actually considered as dangerous as taking away from it. Because what was the real intention? As Rashi, the great commentator, noted in his comment on that verse in Genesis, adding may lead to taking away from it. One must therefore use extreme caution in the interpretation and expansion of the laws and the Torah. It's a delicate task. Many believe we have added much through rabbinic interpretation. But after the period of the Talmud and the Mishnah, the law has mostly been left alone, and that's really for the better part of 2,000 years. Interpretation will always continue. After the Talmud and the Mishnah, the next great period of interpretation was the Middle Ages with Maimonides. But we are also told every age demands interpretations. Friends, the law is presented in the Torah as divine, but requires human strength and wisdom to carry it out. We need to be able to examine it freshly every time, and it hasn't been examined in a long time. Which is why I like to look at it every week and see is there something else we can get from it. Now we then get the retelling of the words of the Epiphany. And you will notice the changes take place. Even for them, there is actually adding and subtraction. They are changed from how they were first given in Exodus. Read the words of the commandments. Spot the differences yourself if you can between those in the Great Epiphany in Exodus and those repeated here. The differences are subtle, but they're there. Now, what I always have found interesting is that most people can't name them. Now, remember at one point, it and the Shema, the great ode to monotheism, where they were the only prayers done on a daily basis. And it's interesting that people cannot name them. They can name some of them, but not all of them. They debate as to which is the most important. And there is one that is considered more important than the others, although they're all important. Nor do they realize which are the most frequently broken. Now, the most frequently broken is the seventh, adultery. Except maybe for coveting. And the reason is because these two in particular are commandments that good people break. The temptation is extraordinary with them. The potential for hurt is substantial. The potential for leading to other behavior, like lying, is tremendous as well. And the most important, well, God mentions more than once, and no, it's not what you think. The natural answer, of course, is do not murder, but it is not. You see what you come up with, let me know. We then have the Great Commandment, which became the great prayer of monotheism, and it's given to us in Deuteronomy 6:4, and it has become the most important prayer in the religion. Listen, Israel, the Lord is our God. The Lord is one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is God. The Lord is one. It's a simple 6-word prayer. Listen, hear, everybody. God is God alone. Such a simple but powerful statement, whose words have so many meanings. If you take it literally, it's listen, Israel is any who fought with God. And God isn't God. God is he who caused being. So it's listen, any who fought with he who caused being. There's only one creator, one alone. This prayer has been incorporated into daily liturgy. It's recited twice each day. It's written on the scrolls of the tefillin that you see the religious Jews wear on their arms and their heads. And it is in the mezuzah on every Jewish doorpost. Sacred words. But friends, truer words were never spoken. Yes, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom, be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light, all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone. An end to terror and hatred. Remember, we are a community. We learn together, we celebrate with each other, we love each other, we share this ride together, men and women equally. Let us send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. Please do. Learn to forgive. Learn to love. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life. Tell the people that you love them. Examine your intentions. Use them to imprint your will on the universe, because we set in motion all that happens in our lives. It is our intention, our cabin, our cause or effect. It's all linked. You always have time to forgive and be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what's good and bad. So acknowledge what you have done. What's wrong to yourself, what was wrong to God, what was wrong to any person you have wronged. Ask forgiveness. But always do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Forgive those you've hurt. As you learn to be forgiving and compassionate, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people, in the world as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? Because if you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So keep on dreaming, my friends. Keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love. It's always in front of you. Work to be present in the body. Expand your heart, quiet your mind, because the deepest source of real power lies in your consciousness, in your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. Love with the heart, because we're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear, forgiveness, not anger, and be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. You're never alone on your journey. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive, and keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. Listen to the voice of God as he, she, it, them, they talks to you. And remember, your connection to God and to all that God has created in body and soul is a part of you. It's a part of me. It's a part of all of us. And it will be forever. And always be there to help others. Never take solace and joy in their problems. When the truth is found to be lies, all the joy within you dies. Don't you want somebody to love? Don't you need somebody to love? If you love somebody to love, you better find somebody to love. Love, we all need somebody to love. Take that day of love and just carry it out throughout your whole lifetimes. Enjoy that festival of love. Find somebody to love. Thank you for joining me, my friends. Shabbat Shalom and blessings to you all. Take care.